Assalamu alaikum class and a very good morning. How are you all? I hope all of you are doing well by the grace of Almighty Allah. Alhamdulillah, Miss is also doing fine. Class, are you doing your most important thing in your life? You must be wondering, what is that most important thing that Miss is asking about? Well, I'm talking about studying. Are you doing that? If yes, then excellent. Keep up the good work. Students, today in our class, we'll be learning something new and fun. But before starting our class, I want to introduce myself to you. I am your BGST teacher and I am Khadusna Fariha from Sector 4 branch, Uttara Milestone School and College. With this introduction, let's start our class now. So students, welcome to my class. Today, our class number is 29. Hurry up, write down the CW number on your copy and also don't forget to write the date as well. Today we are going to have our class on chapter 7, that is Economy of Bangladesh. So, what are our class objectives today? I'm pretty sure by the end of the class, all of you will have a clear idea about the topic as well as you'll be able to answer one-word questions regarding the topic that we are going to learn today. Also, all the students will be able to answer any question related to it. In our today's class, we are going to solve the book exercises and the book creative as well. So let's start our class with solving the book exercises first. The first question from your book exercise is, which one is one of the main sources of industrial raw materials? The options are given like that: agricultural sector, industrial sector, import sector, and service sector. The answer will be agricultural sector. Even though the industrial sector, for running the industrial sector, we need raw materials, and the majority of the raw materials are being produced in our agricultural sector. That is why the answer here will be agricultural sector. The next question is, urban economy is kept active by the rich, the industrialist and the businessman, service holders, the middle class and the professionals, the lower class, the workers and the day laborers. The answer will be 1, 2, 3. That is right. All of the three options will be correct, and all of the three class people and the works are very much important to keep active the urban economy. We know that in our urban areas, people mainly belong to three main classes. First of all, rich or the upper class, then middle class and the lower class. Even though these people, they work in three different sectors and they're all participating in different kind of workplaces, but all of their roles are important for keeping the urban economy active. That is why 1, 2, 3, all these three options will be correct for keeping active the urban economy. Now here you can see a stem is given. Based on this stem, you have to give the answer of question number 3 and question number 4. So let's read the stem first. At Sirajganj, Bimal Mitra, a vegetable farmer, used to sell vegetables in the village. He had to sell vegetables at a low price because there was not much demand of it in the village. After the construction of the Bangabandhu Bridge, he sells vegetables commuting to Dhaka daily. As a result, his income increases 3 times. Now the question is, what is the main cause of increasing income of Bimal Mitra? The options are given like that: infrastructural construction, agricultural modernization, taking right decision, or implementation of planning. The answer will be A. Infrastructural construction. We can see from the stem that Bimal Mitra is a farmer when he was cultivating his crops, but the demand was not so much in the village. But after constructing the bridge, that is the Bangabandhu Bridge, and that falls under the infrastructural construction, He started to spread his business even in the Dhaka city, and thus he has increased his income. So A number will be the correct answer, that is infrastructural construction. Now, question number 4. The construction is consolidating. Consolidating means something that makes something strong. So, the construction is consolidating economic development, industrial boom, market expansion. The answer will be 1, 2, 3. All of the 3 questions are correct. How? First of all, after the construction of the bridge, Bimal Mitra was able to expand his business from his village to Dhaka city. And this is a way of the booming of industrial sector, as his business has been being expanded from village to Dhaka city. So the industry of this vegetable sector or the food sector is automatically booming. And when the market is expanding and when the industry is booming, at the same time, the economy is developing. That is why all of the 3 options will be correct for answering the question number 4. With this, your book exercises are being solved. Now we will solve your creative question. There are 2 creative questions are given in your book. We will solve the creative question today one by one. Let's start with solving the creative question 1 from your book. Here, the creative question 1 from your book. Let's start with reading the stem. So the stem says like that: Ashraf Ali makes leather bags in his factory. In the first year, a small number of his bags was sold in England. But after 3 years, a great demand of his products in the European countries is noticed. On the other hand, his wife Jamila sells more than 100 eggs in the market from the farm in the yard. By dint of their joint effort, they are happy in their family life. From this stem, we can say that a married couple who were Ashraf Ali and Jamila, where Ashraf Ali is working in an industrial sector and Jamila is working in an agricultural sector. By selling more than 100 eggs in the market from the farm of her yard. Now, what are the questions from the stem? Let's see. What percentage of population of Bangladesh lives in the urban areas? That is for mark 1. Second, why is Bangladesh called an agricultural country? Third, the features of which economic sector does Mrs. Jamila's work have affinity with? That means Jamila's work reflects which in the economic sector of Bangladesh. Can you already guess that which economic sector of Jamila's work is reflecting? Maybe? Okay, we will know what is your guess after solving the creative question number 1. But hold on to your answer. Then, whose economic work between Ashraf Ali and Mrs. Jamila is more helpful to economic development? Give reasons for your answer. That is the 4 question from the stem number 1. Now let's solve the question of creative question 1. First of all, the question was asking for that about how many percentage of the people live in the urban areas. The answer will be about 30% people of the population live in urban areas. Please do not just write 30% people. Write the full sentence like about 30% people of the population live in urban areas. Okay. Then second, the question was asking for that why our Bangladesh is an agricultural country, or why our economy is considered as an agricultural economy. So for writing the answer, you have to first write the knowledge-based answer, so that the teacher will have the idea that you know something from the book and you have the knowledge what you are going to write further. So you can write your answer in such a manner that Bangladesh is an agricultural country. Our agriculture is contributing 20% to our economy. That is covering your knowledge from based on your book. So then you can write that why our country is an agricultural country, and you can write in such a way like most of the people of Bangladesh live in villages. Agriculture is their main occupation. Even those who have no land of their own can work on others' land and earn their livelihood. That means several crores of people of our country depend directly on the agriculture. That is why Bangladesh is an agro-based or agricultural country. That means we can say that most of the people of our country are living in the rural area and most of them are related with the agricultural sector. Among these people, those who have their own land, they can cultivate crops on their land, but those who haven't any of their land, they can still cultivate on others' land. That means people are directly depending on the agriculture sector for their livelihood. Even the people of the urban areas, their life is depending on the agriculture sector as well. For all this reason, we can say that Bangladesh economy is agriculture-based economy, and for all this reason, we can say that Bangladesh is an agricultural country. So this is how you can sum up writing the answer of answer number 2. Now, question number C of the creative question number 1. Where was the question again? The question was, the feature of which economic sector does Mrs. Jamila's work have affinity with? I asked you that can you guess that what kind of economic sector Jamila's work reflects? Have you said agricultural sector? If yes, then you're correct. You have to start your writing with saying this answer. Like in our country, in our Bangladeshi economy, we can say that there are mainly 4 economic sectors. There are industrial, trade and commerce, agricultural, and service. But here, Jamila's work has affinity with agricultural sector. Then, for the second para, you can write the stem, as you have already give your knowledge-based idea in your introduction by saying that Jamila's work has affinity with agricultural sector. By answering in such way, you are giving hint to your teacher that you have understood what the question is asking from you. Now you have to develop your answer. In the second para, you can write the idea you have from the stem by writing the something about the stem, that from the stem we can see that there Jamila, who is working in her yard and selling the eggs, and from that she can earn money, and where on the other side her husband is working in a factory and he is also contributing in the income of the family, and with the both of their contribution in their family income, they are now living happily. So this is the stem. Now in the third para, you can write about the agricultural sector and then match your writing with the context of your book. Why you have to write about the agricultural sector here? Because here you are emphasizing on Jamila's work, whose work is related with the agricultural sector. That is why in the third para you have to write about the agricultural sector. You can take the idea from the book. For giving the answer of this question, you have to read the book first. Here I have taken the para of agriculture from a book. You can write this as the answer as well for writing about the agriculture. Here it says that from the ancient time, agriculture has been playing a key role in the economy of Bangladesh. Even today, most of the people depend on agriculture for their livelihood. Paddy, jute, tea, pulse, ruby crops, producing vegetables and fruits, forest resources, livestock rearing, pisciculture are considered as agricultural sector. The contribution of agriculture in our national economy is more than 20%. Pisciculture is rearing fish. Okay, so by that you can sum up answering question number C. You have already written about the agriculture sector. Now what the work has left for you is to match your answer with the concept of the STEM. You have already written about the agriculture sector. Now you have to write that these are all about the agriculture sector, and we can say that Jamila's work is related with the agriculture sector. Thus, we have concluded like this that Jamila's work has the affinity with the agriculture sector of our Bangladesh. So this is the conclusion of your answer number C for the creative question 1. Now let's move to the creative questions number 4. So the question is, whose economic work between Ashraf Ali and Mrs. Jamila is more helpful to economic development? Give reasons for your answer. So you have to start your writing first with identifying that who is working in which economic sector. We have seen in this term that Ashraf Ali is working in a factory. That means he is working in the industrial sector. On the other side, his wife Jamila, she is selling eggs from her farm, right? So it is actually related with our agriculture sector. So you have to first give the idea to your teacher that you have understood the point of the question. So you can start your writing like that in the stem. Ashraf Ali's work represents the industrial economic sector and Jamila's work represents agriculture economic sector. That will complete your knowledge based idea. Okay. Then give importance for the agriculture sector and give importance of the industrial sector and draw the conclusion that which economic work between Ashraf Ali and Mrs. Jamila is more helpful to you for our economic development. So let's see what will be the full answer. First of all, after giving the introduction, you have to write the importance of agriculture sector. We can see and we can say like that most of the people of our country are related with agriculture sector. Thus, Bangladesh has become an agro-based country. Besides, this sector supplies raw materials other than fulfilling the domestic demand for food. Then add more importance of the agriculture sector to your answer, like food grain price at world market. Now you have to write that in the world market, the food grain price is very high. So even we want to buy the food grain from the world market, it will be somewhat very tough for us. And that is why it is more reasonable for us to become self-sufficient in the food sector. That is why we cannot neglect the agricultural sector, and that is why the importance of agriculture sector is much. Then Bangladesh has to be food scarcity possibilities. If the farmers of our country they stop working, then there is a huge possibility that we will starve to death. That is why agriculture sector, if there is no agriculture sector or if the agriculture sector stopped working, there will be a possibility of food scarcity in the future. That is why for all this reason, the importance of agriculture sector is very much, and that is why we cannot neglect the work of Jamila, right? Now what about the work of her husband, Ashraf Ali? He is working in a factory, right? Now you have to give the importance of the industrial sector as well. By writing that industrial sector is also important for the economic development of our country. It creates employment opportunity. Besides, it meets the demand for food, clothing, medicine, housing, etc. For being a developed country, industrial sector plays an effective role. See, both the industrial sector and the agriculture sector have their own importance in their own way. That's why we cannot deny one importance over another. And that is why here both their work are important for developing our economy of Bangladesh. So now after knowing the answers, you can draw the conclusion in such way that we cannot deny the importance of industrial sector over agricultural sector. Both the sector is important for the economy of Bangladesh. Thus, both Ashraf Ali and Mrs. Jamila's work are helpful to economic development of Bangladesh. I hope you have understood and you don't have any problem with the solve of creative question 1 from your book. Now, we will solve the creative question 2 from your book. So, let's see the stem first. All of the 4 sons of Mr. Lokman, a middle-class man, are unemployed. The eldest son, Arman, has been sent to Saudi Arabia with borrowed money. There he got a job in a date garden. He was inspired by seeing the use of knowledge and technology to grow various fruits including dates on the infertile desert land. Thinking about backwardness of agriculture in his own country, he came back home and decided to make a farm with his 3 brothers. Getting the 3 brothers trained from horticulture center about agricultural production, he and his 3 brothers collectively made a farm and got established as a successful businessman. What a great story! So now let's see what are the questions based on this tale. First, what is the percentage of the contribution of agriculture in our national economy? Second, what do you mean by service sector? Explain. Third, with which economy did Mr. Arman get involved returning from Saudi Arabia? Fourth, all 4 sons of Mr. Lukman are now human resources. Evaluate. So let's start solving the questions of creative question 2 with the first question, that is, what is the percentage of the contribution of agriculture in our national economy? The answer will be 20%. But please don't just write 20%, okay? You have to write the full line. You have to line the answer in such a way that agriculture is contributing 20% in our national economy. That will fulfill your answer. Second, the question was about the what do you know about service sector? Explain. Here you have to write about the service sector and you have to explain it. Okay, so you have to first start writing by giving with knowledge based idea to your teacher. So what can be the knowledge based idea on that? Let's see. Like other countries, we have our own economic sector. Our economic sector includes agriculture, industry, trade and commerce, and service. Among them, service sector has its own importance in our economic sector. By saying all the 4 sectors of our economic sectors, you have completed your knowledge-based idea from the book. You have already given your idea to your teacher that you know about all the 4 sectors other than service sectors, and you have already mentioned them. And now you are going to describe or explain the service sectors individually. Okay, so here the service sector, this idea has taken from your book, and this is what is written in your book for the service sector. Let's see what is written. Service sector plays an important role in the economy of any country. Education, healthcare, housing, transport or communications, bank, insurance, public administrations, law enforcing agencies are the example of service sector. The sector is run by both public and private enterprise. The more a country is developed and more importance is given on public welfare, the more vigorous is the service sector there. already read while we're reading while we're reading this chapter, we have read about the importance of the service sector. Can you remember that I have told you that how much important service sector is for developing a country? Why? Because in a country, the service sector, if the service sector is improved, that means the lifestyle of that country is improving. Lifestyle of what? Lifestyle what? Lifestyle of the people. So that is why service sector has its own importance for developing a country. So for writing the answer of question number 2, you have to write the first about the service sector's knowledge-based idea from the service sector, and then you have to describe it and describe the service sector in this manner. But you know, for writing the answer of this question, you have to read the book first. So read the chapter very carefully and then write the answer or learn the answer. Now let's move to the C number question of the creative question number 2. First, see what was the question again. With which economy did Mr. Arman get involved returning from Saudi Arabia? I am reminding you once again about the step. We have seen that Mr. Arman, who is one of the sons of Mr. Luqman, and all of his brothers along with him were unemployed until he was sent to Saudi Arabia by the borrowed money. Then he went there, he learned about technology and cultivating crops in a good way or better way. Then he decided to return to the country and he started to he started to impose his idea or knowledge what he have learned in Saudi Arabia in the context of Bangladesh, and he also taught all of his 3 brothers about these things, and now they have become a successful businessman individually. Acha, okay, now you have to write with giving the knowledge-based idea to your teacher like that. In our Bangladesh, 2 kinds of economy can be seen. One is rural economy and another is urban economy. Why you have to write in such way? Because the question was demanding that which economy did Mr. Arman get involved returning from Saudi Arabia. So here you have to write about the economy of Bangladesh, and we all know that in our Bangladesh there are mainly 2 economies can be seen. First is urban economy and another is rural economy. And can you say that Mr. Arman's work is reflecting which kind of economy of Bangladesh? Yes, rural economy. You are absolutely right. So you have to write this first, that Arman got involved with rural economy after returning from Saudi Arabia. Then for the second paragraph, you have to write, describe the reason why this is rural economy and describe the rural economy. That will sum up the answer for your creative question C. Creative question number C number answer. Okay. Then now here we are solving the question number D. The question was, all 4 sons of Mr. Luqman are now human resources. Evaluate. So you have to write first that what is human resource. By giving the definition or idea about the human resource, you are clearing to the teacher that you have the idea about the human resource. So what is the human resource definition? Let's see. Skilled manpower is known as human resources. They are one of the keys to make our country as a developed country. That will be enough for the introduction to write the answer for the D number question. Now then you have to write about the stem and what do you understand from the stem. Here you can say that in the stem we can see that Mr. Arman, he was sent to the Saudi Arabia, but once he was unemployed, but after reaching to Saudi Arabia, he has learned some technique about cultivating on the land with better way, and that's after that he has decided to return to the country, and after return to the country he has imposed whatever he learned in the Saudi Arabia on the context of the Bangladesh, and he also helped his brothers to learn all those things that he has learned in the Saudi Arabia, and after learning and taking some kind of vocational training, they are now have become they are now becoming they have now become successful businessmen. So this is your understanding from this step. Now then you have to describe human resources and how Mr. Lokman's four sons have become human resources, and then you have to write the conclusion. Here I am giving you the idea of the second paragraph. Like, unskilled people do not come to any use of the state or society. On the other hand, skilled people do not only become successful personally, but also can speed up the economic activities of the state. The skilled people turn into economic resources for the state. On the contrary, the unskilled people are considered as burden of the state. And you have to also write that we know that skilled people are considered as the human resource of a country. And here in the stem, you can see all of the four sons of the Mr. Lukman has become now human resources. Then you have to answer that why skilled people are important for economic development and how all of our four sons have become human resources for our country. You know, in your book, there are some points are given under the headings like ways of turning the population into human resources. Among these points, there are 4 points you can see that turning the people into human resources, there are some ways that including to aid in acquiring and applying technical education, to aid in professional training and in acquiring skill, imparting training in productive work, teaching skills to invest in productive work, and to help develop innovative power. If you match this answer with your STEM, you will see that Mr. Lukman's son Armand, he mainly acquired his technical education in Saudi Arabia. Then after coming back to the Bangladesh, he has helped his 4 brother about learning the lessons, and he also take the training, professional training, and acquire the skill later along with her brother. Later, all of his three brothers, they imply their knowledge on the agriculture sector, and by this, they have all become a successful businessman, and thus these things have helped them to be a human resource of the Bangladesh. So with this, we are summing up the lesson for today. See, you have to write the answer for B and D for the KDIP question 2. This is your homework. So students, that's all for today's class. I hope all of you have understood what we have learned in our today's class. But one thing I want to warn you before finishing our class, and that is, don't forget to do your homework and don't forget to learn your lesson every day. With this, I'm ending the class. Thank you for staying with me.